In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a couple of trades we took on Audjpy this past week. So on the daily time frame, we can see that we've been having a bearish structure characterized by lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. So what we wanted to do as of last week was to establish a range, because we always know that we want to be selling when we're at premium of a range and buying when we're at discount of a range, right? So we needed to establish a range on the daily time frame to know when to be selling. So how we did that was that we realized there was a sweep of liquidity here on the daily time frame, followed by a shift of structure right at this point. So that gave us a range. So this is the high of our range, this is the low of our range. And now we need an institutional reference point to be selling from at premium. So over here, we can see that this over here is a breaker block, right? So when price returned into 50%, which confluence with the breaker block, we now want to pay attention to the price action there. Now, the next thing we want to be doing is we want to go to the lower time frame, the 1 hour time frame specifically, to see a shift of structure to the downside. So on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that right here was when we traded into that daily breaker. So we now want to zoom in and look for where we had our shift of structure to the downside, and that's right over here. This was a high, a low was formed after it. We swept liquidity above this high and came to shift structure below this low. So this was where we confirmed a shift of structure to the downside. Now for our entries, we wanted to use either the mitigation or the breaker block entry model. So we simply just drag out this low in time, and as soon as price returns to this low later in the future, we entered for a sell, and we used this high for our stop loss. For our take profit, we want to aim for an opposing draw on liquidity, places such as old lows, relative equal lows, or even the low of that daily range. So we targeted here, which is the low of the daily range, and an old low for a 1:4. Now for our second entry, you can see that from this high to this next high, it's a failure swing, right? So we want to drag out the mitigation block in time, and as soon as price returned into this mitigation block right here, we entered and we used this high for our stop loss. Why did we use that high for our stop loss? Because this high also swept liquidity above this high, which means it's a breaker block as well, right? We can call this high protected. So when we entered over here and we aim for opposing draw on liquidity, you could have exited over here for a 1:2.5, or you could have held for the daily draw on liquidity as well. And so that's how we caught two trades on Audjpy since last week Thursday. Okay, we had the first entry last week Thursday, and we exited this morning right here, 10th March, for a 1:4 and another 1:4, which is a total of 8 RR. Hope this video helps. I will see you in the next video.